Hey Thinksters, and welcome to today's Green Tea Break Python. Very healthy stuff. In today's video I want to discuss how to replace a given string in a file using only a single line of Python code. So say you have this file, file.txt, and you have some strings, some content, file contents, say xxx, and some example, for example, and now you want to replace the example with another string called replaced example, okay? So, and you want to change this file or even create a new file. How can you accomplish this in a single line of Python code? And I think it's a useful exercise to become a better coder, to understand file I/O better, and also understand the power of one-line thinking in Python. So let's dive right into it. I will discuss three methods of accomplishing this, from not from the Python shell exclusively, so like this is a Python shell now. So of course we can do like we can use the with, open, and so on. So this command to accomplish this in a Python script, but we want to do this from, often if you search for a one-liner, there's a reason you want to do it from your operating system terminal. Okay, so for example in Windows we have the PowerShell. Let's open the PowerShell in Windows, and we cd into my example folder Python. And now, okay, here we are. So we are in my example folder Python. We have the file. So if we run ls, you can see the file.txt. This is the file I just showed you, and now we want to replace all this specific line in our file. Okay, so again, have a look at the file. This is our file. We want to replace this example with example replaced example, for example. Yeah, and we use the command python -c and pass a given string. And this string, so if you run python -c and you give another string as an argument, then this string will be interpreted as Python code. So this will be interpreted as code snippet to be executed in Python. Okay, so it's just like Python internally creates a new file, stores the contents of everything that is enclosed in the string in this file, and executes this file, so runs this file. So this is basically the code that is executed by Python. So you can dynamically, on your operating system, you can call any Python command. It's very useful, and therefore many people actually want to find Python one-liners because they have only one line to run this, yeah, basically. So now we use a print function so we simply print the replaced content to the standard output, and then we can do something with it in a moment. But yeah, the first step is to just print it to the shell, to the standard output. And now you can call the open function on the file.txt. So this is our file name. We first open this, and now the open function returns a new file object. So now we can, on this file object, we can call the read function to get all the contents of the file. So this is a string now. That is a string of all the file content of this file, file.txt. So now we have a string. So we could simply print the string and are done with it. Okay. So maybe if you run this, you see the output is xxx example xxx. So this is our file content. But now let's extend this. So we don't want to simply read, we don't want to perform the identity operation, just reading the contents. We want to actually replace stuff. So we want to replace the example string. We use the replace function to do this. So what do we want to replace? This is the first argument of the replace function. And now we give the replacement values, like for example, replaced example. So replaced example, this is our new string, and now the result. So now let's close the replace function call. Okay, so what have we done? So again, we opened the file, then we read all contents from the file, then we replaced the example, all occurrences of example with replaced example, and the result is a string. So the replace function also returns a string, a new string. It doesn't modify an existing string on which you call it, the replace function. Why? Because strings are immutable. Strings cannot change. So therefore, there's no string replacement going on, but Python simply internally creates a new string. that is returned by the replace function. And this new string is then passed as an argument into the print function. So we print it basically to the standard output. So let's run this. Yeah, you see now this was previously our output, xxx example, xxx, and now our output is this one. But if you look at the file, cat file.txt, you see it's still the old one, okay? So we have simply created a string with the replaced file content with our command, and so this was our command, how we created the new file content. Now we need to store it in a file, so we can use, for example, this pipe operator. Simply channeling channeling the resulting string into this file.txt. So let's call it file42, for example. You can also, of course, replace an existing file with this command, but we simply create a new file called file42. Let's ls and see where is the file42, which we have just created. Okay, so the file exists, so we can call cat file42txt, and now you see it contains the new string. And of course, you could also replace the old file.txt, cat file.txt. So this would also be possible, but now it still has the original contents. Okay, so this is how you can, let's get rid of my face for a moment. Okay, so this command is I would say the best way of doing it, of accomplishing this, replacing it, and then using this operating system commands with the pipe operator. No, it's not the pipe operator, it's simply channeling the standard output into a file, into operating system file, using this greater symbol here. Okay, so this is one way of accomplishing it, but of course now you are doing part of the job outside of Python, so this is not done within Python. So what can we do instead? So if you want to have 100% Python, we can use a little known trick, and that is to pass a file object into a file argument into the print function. Okay, so the print function has an optional file argument, and you can define a file. We simply open the file, say, let's call it file24 instead of 42txt, and now we close it again. Then we close the, okay, so we close our open function. So we open this file, yeah. So this, basically in this part, we create a new file and open it, and we need to open it in write mode because we want to write into the file. So we pass this w argument into our open function, and then we close the print function again. So this is one optional argument of the print function. You can pass a file object into the print function using the file argument, and then it will just print the contents into this file directly. So this, now it's 100% Python. If we run this code and we look at the contents of file24, then we see we have the replaced content here. So this works beautifully. It's a good trick. It's a Python one-liner, so exactly what you wanted to accomplish, and I hope that you also learned something out of it. Now, if you want to stop theory and learning and all the stuff, and this is actually what I recommend, that you stop learning now and start earning money as a Python freelancer, because if you start earning money as a Python freelancer, you will build this well-rounded skill set only practitioners have. If you just, on the other hand, study the whole time, you will never feel ready. You will never be able to exploit your skills, because you always feel inferior compared to other coders. So the best way to learn is to actually work on practical code projects, because it will motivate you most to finish this project. And then, of course, it's a good bonus if you get paid to do so. Okay, so of course, if you just learning Python has a purpose. If you learn Python, you build yourself a high income skill. But if you learn Python and you are getting paid, then of course the benefit is even much higher. And the third benefit of working on practical code projects for clients, getting paid in the process, is that you build this, as I already said, this well-rounded skill set of professionals. Because if you just learn, if you just read books, then usually you will learn things that are not highly relevant for your practical applications, because I mean, it's just learning for the purpose of learning. It's just learning what sells. Yeah. So if you buy a book, it's likely that someone has created a massive marketing machine to sell this book, and this may be a good seller, but it may not be worth learning compared to other skills that are highly relevant. But if you start for example, as a freelance developer by earning money, building projects for clients, and getting paid in the process, then you get these type of skills that are really relevant, that will really increase and boost your value to the marketplace. So if you are interested in this, then check out my free webinar, how to build the high income skill Python as a Python freelancer, and also check out my expert program to accomplish the same thing with even more content. Okay, thanks for watching this video, and see you in the next video. Bye.